No, that's not big enough. No, that's not big enough either. That's more like it. We're delighted to have you with us, and we extend a cordial welcome to you. We've lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on our giant screen with the new, colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading about. To add to your enjoyment, we're all wound up to bowl you over at intermission time with live wire service at our snack bar, where you'll find a tempting variety of favorite foods and beverages. Your continued patronage is very, very welcome.
Hey, somebody's crazy. Papa goes the weasel. Everybody knows the weasel blows, but popcorn, she pops real good. I eat popcorn. Everybody eats popcorn. She tastes real nice. Get yourself some now at our refreshment stand.
It's the exciting new Daredevil Trick Track with the incredible Dolphin Racer, gear-driven for longer battery life. Daredevil Trick Track, full of fantastic tricks. A sensational new steering track, a wall of logs, a teeter-totter, and it's up, 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 and over we go, a somersault flip. And now, straight through a fly-apart house. Get Daredevil Trick Track, action-packed with tricks and tracks. It's thrilling, spilling, crashing, smashing. Daredevil Trick Track from Transogram, where the fun comes from. Wow!
Sunday night, MojiTzu, how you guys doing? Thanks for hanging out. Welcome back to MojiTzu Vlog. Life and arts, as they say. How was your weekend? How was your week? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you doing all right? I hope that you're doing good. I really do. Well, I got my script, whatever that means. So before I get going, I need to take care of a little bit of business. Tonight's episode is brought to you from my friends at EDFM. George and his electronics for electronic repair and the Decade Box and things that does. Check them out. It's edfusa.com. And, of course, Bill's Key Shop of Madison, Wisconsin. If you find yourself in a jam, you can never do wrong with Joe at Bill's Key Shop. New folks I would like to bring into the mix. This is pretty cool for me. Waves.com. That's right. Waves and I have had a little chat during some technical support I had, and it kind of worked out that, I've made a new friend. And I'd like, if you get a chance, check out Waves. If you're doing recording or you're live streaming, like things like I'm doing here, then you can see that they're a very valuable resource. They do have a subscription model, and, those are getting kind of old for everybody. But what I have found that if you're going to do the bang for the buck, you really can't go wrong with Waves. They get you there. It may not always be the most prestigious or whatever, but it gets you there. It gets the job done. You sound great, and that's what matters, right? So check them out, waves.com. And with that, also your local cat shelters. Remember those felines out there? They make the world spin. So welcome to my friends, coworkers, family, if you happen to be in the mix somewhere. And tonight I want to talk about something that is very, very dear to my heart. And it's two things, really. I talk about a lot of difficult things, the darker side of recovery, mainly because not everybody polishes us up good. Not everybody gets good breaks out there. It is not a hallmark, people. And Purdue and the Sackler family, some of the things in the news that's going on, like the state of Wisconsin, I could be wrong in the numbers, $764 million. after they won. I think it was a total of 58 billion or something. It was a bizarre, crazy number that they won in all the lawsuits. And the states that were affected by the opioid crisis, they get a piece of that pie. And Wisconsin is like 748 million. And a lot of those people, folks, there's a lot of hurt in that money. Really, let's just look at it. If someone dies in a family, or someone's life is ruined within a family, uh, they keep being told there's not habit forming, and it is habit forming, and it is problematic. And guess what? People are dying. Tragedy happens. It's not just one person who's affected; it's the entire family. And I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a difficult thing for me when I think about the tragedy, because I've seen some of the things out there. And it's not just the pills; it's opiates in general, and all the drugs really. But this particular subject is kind of close and dear to my heart, which kind of leads into what I want to talk about tonight. I talk a very mean game. I do. I recognize that, folks, and forgiveness. And I do have a situation that has been very difficult for me. And it was, without going into details, it was very, very hard and complicated. And there's absolutely really very little room where someone wouldn't find it personal. But it is what it is. And I can choose to be angry, spiteful, resentful, and really you couldn't blame me, but I ask sometimes when I recognize that through the things I've done in life, good and bad, we don't always realize the things that we do, or you don't understand how far something's going if it's just like an ongoing joke, or maybe you don't really understand the situation and then you find out after the fact, and that can be very difficult. But still, there's something that happens to you, and we've all been through some form of this in some way or form in our lives. And when these things happen, we use it as tools to beat ourselves up with, to ruminate, and to find a reason to be upset with others and fight, and have a bad mood, and all these, or whatever it manifests in our lives. Forgiveness becomes divine in that we get to from point A to point B, and we let go, and we move on, and we grow, and we learn. And my script here would say that, the power of change that comes with forgiveness, is blah, 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 blah. But I don't need to tell you guys that. You guys are smart. We're all growing up here on this big spinning globe here. We know that if we're not feeling good and something's not right, when we change it, we feel better. And sometimes when it comes to, if you don't know what to do, you find hurt in other people and other things. And hanging on to that does nothing but just make you miserable. Like, I know that for me, because I really didn't know how to process what was going on. Trying to find a way to forgive is difficult when you don't have those type of answers or that type of information. So you just at least I did anyways, I just kind of resonate with the idea that it's not worth changing my path or giving up any of the higher ground that I've worked really hard for, and that this is a great opportunity to practice what I preach, which is, if I'm going to ask someone to accept my apology, for whatever it is, and I certainly have most of my stuff resolved in life now. I'm happy, I'm at peace, but mistakes happen in life, and if I have to apologize, which I always do, I own my mistakes 100%. I'm basically saying, hey, I effed up. I'm sorry. That's a big deal to ask someone to forgive you, when you've wronged them. I mean, sometimes something small is a big deal for someone, because you don't know the impact of it. How can we possibly know? So I've taken the opportunity to just do my best to let go and forgive. And is it easy? No, it's not easy. But at the same point, it's still an opportunity to teach myself how to be more forgiving, to be more allowing and more understanding. Because most of the time when we wind up, at odds with somebody, it's usually over ignorance. Everybody involved doesn't understand the other. And that's how hurt happens. And with that, folks, I'm going to shut my trap. And I am going to be honest. I want to talk about one last thing. The MojiTzu journeys. This last Friday did Japan. If you haven't seen the footage of that, it's Virtual Japan. Subscribe to it. It's amazing. 8K, just really vibrant in your face. And when I do those journeys videos, for me, on my end, it's dark in the room, and I've got my good headphones on where I'm hearing everything really wonderfully, and I'm trying to connect and present, these sounds and things to that. I had been under so much stress these last 2 weeks in particular that I dozed off on 2 spots in that video. Both of them were short, but man, how embarrassing. So if you happen to catch that, you probably didn't. I just thought I would come clean. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be going to Norway again. I know that Scotland's coming up. I'm looking at Alaska, and that Virtual Japan. They cover a lot of things. I'm looking at those folks. And if you get a chance when you watch those videos, if you get anything out of them, there's always a edited version that goes up on the MojiTzu YouTube channel where you can loop the video and enjoy, like if you're falling asleep or whatever you do to get your vibe on, depending on what that is. It's a chance to avoid any of the intros. I do the intros on these vlogs and the journeys because I have to share the video on my phone so that other people in other areas and pages and things can see it. It gives me a chance to get a little bit of window to calm down before I have to look at that thing in front of me and the clock down on the floor telling me how much time I have. And I will be doing a video coming up pretty quick here where I'm starting to rebuild Wonderland. This has been a big project, a very big project. Georgia EDFM went way out of his way to redesign this chain game to accommodate some of these changes that would benefit a lot of players. And I'm excited to do this. I've matured as a player. I've changed, so my pedal board has changed. And I'm sharing all my secrets, folks, all of them with that. And most players don't. But art is art. You can have all the pedals in the world. You need the ideas to make those pedals sound good. Too much is too much. Too little is, well, never a bad thing, but you get what I'm saying, folks. So look out for that. And I will be sharing the gear that I use to do these because I get quite a bit of inquiries on that too. I do use plugins in as well as miking amps. So. All right. Ooh, I can hear that delay. Who? Oh. All right, that's because I'm still set up on the videos. So, can't have that. Been doing some revamping on the back of the backdrop. chop it down with the edge of my hand. Well, I'll stand up next to a mountain. I'll chop it down with the edge of my hand. Well, I pick up all the pieces and make an island. Mud and raise a little sand. I'm a voodoo child, city baby. I'm a voodoo child. One of these days. Well, I mean, to take a while, go sweet time, give it back. One of these days. Well, I don't see no more in this world. Meet you in the next one. Don't be late. If I don't need you no more in this world, I'll meet you in the next one. Don't be late. I'm a voodoo child, baby. Oh, I'm a voodoo child. That was from my friend Gwen, who had never heard that song before. So I just had to do it. So it certainly is different than Mr. Hendrix's version, but fun nonetheless. And by the way, I don't use a looper. I use a delay, and I just do a very long sound over sound on top of it. So I think I got time for one, possibly two. Boy, that's crazy. Does it bound? Oh, way down. Gotta dig that hole. Gotta dig that grave and take her mama home. Take her home. Brother, oh, he carry him back gun and he shoot daddy. He shoot him dead. Mama ain't done sell nothing but and I've been alone ever since. I've been alone ever since. Yeah, no. Sometimes, baby, you think you can find out you can, never will. Maybe you think you will get away. I gotta tell you that you never will. Oh, you can never run away. Take her from a man that knows the pain. Take it from a man that knows the pain. Oh, yeah. That was a James Williams tune, with permission, I might add. One more, and I think I got time. I'm going to call it. I will love you from thick and thin. I would love you from beginning to end. And I would love you through true and blue. I love you, yes I do. I will love you through every fight. I would love you no matter wrong and right. And I will love you through true and blue. I love you, yes I do. I will love you dark or light, and I will love you. Yes, I do. I love you, true and blue. Every year, Valentine's Day, that's the #1 song I always get asked to share or play or whatever. Kind of a cute little tune. I prefer the acoustic version myself, and I originally had attempted to do acoustic tonight, and I know that because I do get a lot of requests for that. And that being said and done, I have to set up things different. I don't have an acoustic that plugs in, so I have to do it a little more old school. Now I do have a fair amount enough gear to cover it, but that's one of them things where you need to get it kind of right. And I'm kind of new at this audio stuff with the broadcasting and things, and although I gotta admit that I really do enjoy Logic and recording, and I tell you, for you guitar players out there, I have, I mean, if you know anything about me, I'm somewhat of a tone snob. Really, I'm very specific about what I use. I've always been that way because of the condition I have, synesthesia. Oftentimes, the gear I buy is because I'm trying to avoid hum, noise, or other little things that are problematic for me when I'm closing my eyes and trying to concentrate. And that's really hard. It's always been a dark side to that condition. So, however, that being said and done, for years I was against digital amps and plugins and models and stuff. But when you run into a problem where you're trying to record and you got to get something done, I was shocked and amazed at how far it had come from when it originally came out. So if you folks out there, there's lots of really great plugins that you can use for amp modeling. I mean, check out Neural. Waves definitely has the voltage. The PRS amps are pretty cool. I got to admit, I was shocked about that. Universal Audio is certainly no slouch in their department too. They've got quite a bit of good stuff, but they require accelerators and stuff on like their own outboard gear. But your life will change by changing your mindset, on how you do that. Because I'll tell you, a whole new world of things has opened up to me, and enjoying, like, one of my favorite tones now is the I love that low bottom end. So, like I said, you can, with just a little audio interface and a cable in your guitar, you can really do some pretty cool things. So, and I encourage all of you out there, in any type of arts, especially now, the way that our world is. If you're creating art and you're doing stuff, whether you feel that you're being accepted or not, please keep doing it. The world needs us more than ever. And we have our gifts, we have our crosses to bear. Just do your best. And folks, remember to take care of each other out there. Remember that you're important. Everybody's important. If people have good days, bad days. Don't judge them on their mistakes or anything. But most of all, folks, remember to have my love with you wherever you go, because I love you. And thanks for hanging out with me tonight. And see you on Friday for MojiTzu Journeys. And I will announce soon where we're going. Headphones, baby. Headphones on those journeys. You will thank me later. Have a good night. And folks, I love you. Bye.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.